This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Outcrop Silver and Gold, Mr. Joe Hebert. Joe, welcome on the program. Nice to have you on. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, and it's a privilege to be here with you.
I think your timing is phenomenal. We spoke a bit off air. I think we're in for a heck of a run in the precious metal space. You have yourself one of the most exciting exploration projects in Colombia, the Santa Ana project. And I want to talk about, the silver gold vein system, which stretches for over 60 kilometers. But before we get into that, I would love for you to kind of share your background a bit and a bit about the team that you've managed to put in place.
Yeah, I've had 31 years in almost all aspects of economic geology. I've been involved in probably 6 discovery to mine cycles, fortunately, and we've been able to put together a great team in Colombia over the last few years. Good, strong VP of exploration with experience in the systems. Rain systems like Santa Ana is, strong country manager, and all the support we need to do good social license and fast permitting and continuous programs.
You have Ian Slater as executive chairman, which of course, he brings, I think, over a decade of experience in Colombia. And then you mentioned, your country manager, and I want to touch on that and your VP of exploration, because I think, those are critical positions, especially when you're working in South America, where community relations are so important, and it's so important to get it right. Once you do get it right, things get a lot easier to move forward as it relates to exploration and permits and concessions and eventually, possibly building a mine. But we both know that if you do it incorrectly, that it's pretty consequential, right?
Yeah, we can demonstrate our ability to do good social license and good ESG by the fact that within 2 months of the transaction closing on Santa Ana, we had a couple drill rigs turning. We've managed to incorporate a large part of the community in both social benefit programs, and importantly to the residents of Falan, our nearby community. We have about 80% of our workforce is directly from that area, and everyone is Colombian.
Let's talk about the Santa Ana project. It's 100% owned. It's over 36,000 hectares. I mentioned the fact that you have over 60 kilometers of silver gold veins. And look, you've drilled quite a bit on this project and have had some spectacular intercepts. Tell me about the Santa Ana project, and then let's talk about what the rest of the year looks like, because you have some milestones coming up that are going to be pretty important as it relates to the re-rating of the stock, which I believe, obviously, in a perfect world, re-rates to the upside, right?
Right, sure. Santa Ana really is a high quality, high grade discovery, probably one of the highest grade silver discoveries certainly in Colombia and probably the good part of Latin America. It's in a very low risk jurisdiction of Colombia, where projects do move forward with both permitting and permitting to the mine stage. And we'll be moving the discovery to the next stage by publishing a robust maiden compliant resource in 2022.
Tell me about the approach to drilling this year. I mentioned that you've drilled quite a bit. I've mentioned that you've hit, some phenomenal intercepts. You mentioned in your presentation that the weighted average grade of 110 of 183 drill holes is 1,380 grams equivalent silver, right? Grams per ton silver equivalent. That's phenomenal. And so tell me a bit about the approach to drilling this year.
Yeah. Well, all our mineralization that we're bringing into plan to bring into the resource category before the end of the year, we've got a good handle on those because we've got internal block modeling, we've got internal grade contouring. We know what we need in the way of drill density. For the resource stage, we'll have one drill rig dedicated entirely to the resource stage in density type drilling, and then we'll have two rigs doing continuing pure exploration. The exploration targets in front of us are all well advanced. We have a great advantage at Santa Ana is that everything outcrops. So we're able to basically get on top of a vein system, trench it, sample it, turn up usually come up with an individual drill target of silver over, in kilograms, trench that, step it off and drill it. So it's a nice put your hands on it, step off and drill it type situation. So it's a very high success rate on discovery. And again, the shoots that we've discovered that we hope to bring into the resource are fairly well behaved, good grade continuity, and good prediction of grade projection from drilling.
So you have the infrastructure, you have the community relations, you clearly have the grade, you have over 30,000 meters that have already been drilled, you have a resource update coming up, and you're simultaneously doing exploration drilling, which of course, provides that blue sky potential into what I think is going to be a really robust precious metals market. If I play devil's advocate, and it's something that you actually addressed really well, which is why I bring it up. But there's a slide, slide 25 in your corporate presentation, where you mention Outcrop is exploring and drilling the veins that Silvercorp is mining. And I thought that was a well put together slide, because if I was going to play devil's advocate, I would mention the narrowness, the apparent narrowness of the veins. You also have a slide 27, that I encourage everyone to look at, where you actually believe that those narrow veins provide an advantage. Can you speak to the width, the true width of the veins, and how they compare, to companies and projects that have market caps in the, $500 million to $1 billion, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a narrow vein system, but it's an extremely high-grade narrow vein system, which really makes all the difference, because with that grade, you have a lot of flexibility. So if you look at our weighted average grade across all mineralization drilled to date, you're in that 1,400 grams silver equivalent per ton range. We would probably employ in a future mining scenario, it would be similar to what Silvercorp is doing in the Ying mine, with a bias towards selective mining method called RSD. That's also what Silvercrest is employing in the Chispas mine. So it's not so much a matter of the width of the veins as it is of the grade of the veins. And so in our internal guidance for the property, you look at that 1,400 grams silver per ton, across the board. We think we'll still be able to maintain on a resource basis between 550 up to 750 grams silver equivalent per ton. So even diluted to say a 2.2 meter mine width or stope width, which is what Zenjin is using on the Barutica project in Colombia, we will still maintain, some pretty incredible grades.
A lot to look forward with Santa Ana, but you also have other projects in your portfolio. And before I let you go, I'd love just a brief overview of those projects, because it also provides, multiple shots on goal moving forward, right?
Yeah, we have two other very high grade vein systems that we're advancing. Those may be scout drilled by us or joint ventured. The one that would move furthest, the quickest, would be our Helia. It's notable there because we have 4 meter veins that run up to 22.5 grams gold and 10 times that silver. We also have a project in Nariño. It's a little bit difficult to bring forward in that area, so we're sort of bringing that forward slowly. And importantly, we also have our Orabesia project, which immediately adjoins the Agnico Newmont joint venture at Anza. And then we have our Terrace project, which is a direct analog and immediately adjacent to B2 Gold's Anglo Ashanti's Gramalote mine. So, really well positioned. What we intend to do is focus where we can bring most value the quickest, which is Santa Ana, and then look for partners. The most logical short-term venture partners we would expect to be Antares or Abasia, and then scout drilling programs on our Helia.
You just announced a $5 million financing that was quickly upsized to $6 million. It appears there's strong interest there. You have some cornerstone shareholders in Sprott Asset Management and Eric Sprott, among others. I love management teams that have skin in the game. My understanding is that Outcrop Management owns just over 25% of outstanding shares. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's still accurate, and not without a little bit of wincing in order to do it, because I've participated in every placement we put together in recent memory.
I love to hear it. Joe, I'm looking forward to having you back on. Obviously looking forward to assays. Again, I think your timing is excellent. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I don't think so, except that we're just a good team of warfinders. We know what we're doing. We have the experience in Colombia. It's basically a last frontier, and we have a high-grade, robust silver gold discovery that we're bringing to the next stage this year. So I think there's just a lot of excitement in terms of upcoming news to the market.
Looking forward to having you back on for that upcoming news. Thank you again for your time, sir.
Thank you.